back to the garden path again. This time we're doing ground cover part 2, my particular ground covers. In this case it'll be spreading plants rather than true ground cover. I don't like to weed and they really help with that. So right here beside me is a polygonum. This is a Athena or Athene, and it's directly related to the bigger plant back here, which is Polygonum bistoria. And this little polygonum, in earlier shots of the wall this spring, was all brown, and the brown leaves are still there, but they will get covered totally by the green, and it has spread all the way over the rocks, and I keep pulling it out and trying to keep it contained. It leads on to the arabis, which we talked about previously, which does spread along the rocks, and I like it a lot. Even when the flowers are gone, it's attractive. And Lloyd and I plan to dig out some of the plants that really suffered from too much water this year and got very floppy, and encourage this to take over even more. Star of Bethlehem is another little plant that spreads very quickly, and I like it a lot. The flowers are pretty, but this year, because of all the wet weather, it's actually molded, and you can still see the black mold that's in around the plants, which is kind of discouraging, but other years it's been wonderful. As we move along the foundation planting from the arabis, you get into what is now a very green sedum, and I have several kinds of sedum. It has rather nondescript flowers, so I keep it because of the texture. And another sedum that is a little more colorful is this one here, which is Sedum angelina, and it's kind of a lemony green, and it's a nice contrast with some of the darker greens in the garden. Between the two sedums there is a creeping juniper, which again I cut back severely so that it doesn't take over everything. We have a little bit of creeping thyme, and it's a woolly thyme. It's very short and it smells wonderful. Many people that I know who have rock gardens have a lot of that, but this is one I try to keep in check as well. And the other thing that I wanted to mention was the creeping phlox, and again this is a very small section of it, and if you look around the gardens in Nova Scotia and even the lawns, you'll see masses of this purples and white in bloom at this time of year. Dwarf iris bloom a little earlier than the standard iris, and I use them almost as a ground cover in my upper part of the rock garden. This particular little one is called Blue Line for obvious reasons, and the one behind it is Forever Blue. And the one that I like the best, Aramosa Skies, is just now finished, and it was a lovely intense blue. But as the flowers disappear, the leaves come along, and I don't find that an unpleasant look at all. They don't grow very tall, and they just fill in that garden space. What we're looking at now is a true ground cover. It's creeping cotoneaster, and it began as a very small plant in this corner and has crept over the rocks, which are pretty much obscured, and right around enclosing the jade plants that we just moved outside. It will be covered with beautiful white flowers in a week or so, and if there's enough snow cover, we also get red berries. Some years there are a lot, some years there aren't. Thanks for joining us once again. We seem to have a lot of ground covers. I think that's going to be something we talk about in the future.